What's up, people? We are joined by model, creator, innovator, Amir.
What's up?
What's up, Amir? Thank you for joining us today, because today we're talking about what inner peace and what that looks like, not only for us, but you as well. So, Amir, you have quite the journey. The journey. And I don't want to spill all your tea.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to allow you to give it to us.
Okay, so I guess from the beginning is in 2021 I fell ill. Still don't know what it was, but it could have been COVID, it could have been just a random stomach bug, but basically TMI, passed out on the toilet. It's a lot. So the next day, you just have like stomach-like symptoms. So 2 weeks later, I ended up having to go to the doctor. I should have probably went to the ER because basically I was having like going into anaphylactic shock, like dizziness, hives, but they didn't know what it was because I don't have any allergies.
Okay.
So after that, was going to gastroenterologist. Went to 3 gastroenterologists, my primary care doctor, an allergist, and they all told me at that time, this is in the summer, like that's April of 2021 into August of 2021, that, it's nothing, it's just fine. So knowing that at that time, I kind of trusted how doctors viewed the field and that I trusted their opinion, I didn't really think, okay, like maybe you're just making a lot of these symptoms up. The symptoms were very, after that 2 week period, every time I would eat, get dizzy. Arm would start getting itchy, legs would start getting itchy. It was hard for me to focus. I guess like short-term memory was kind of wonky. So those are like my characteristics of a flare-up. And they vary compared to someone who normally would have an allergic reaction, is that's more acute. So you eat something and then you like pass out and you can like go into anaphylactic shock that way. But for my version with MCAS, it would be more long lasting. So it would be about like 4 days. And then that's what it would build up into. And then it would go into that whole episode of like passing out. It just took a little bit longer.
Okay.
Amir, what is your perspective on the lack of education as to what was truly the issue with your health? What is your perspective on that? Because we're here in the States and it's like, okay, our healthcare system is where it's at. We're at a place in technology where we should have those answers. Yet the world is so very vast, right?
Yep.
And we don't claim to know everything. What is your perspective on that lack of education for your specific case?
I think, especially at that time, I had a very large trust that doctors, when they told you something, not to say that they knew everything, but I felt like they knew more answers than anyone else in basically the United States. So if you had any type of other specialist, like I went to gastroenterologist, I thought that when they told me I went to 3 of them, they were like, oh, we don't see anything. I had like sonogram, I had an endoscopy. They were asking, do I want a colonoscopy? I had a sonogram, saw nothing.
So basically give them your account number and let that automatic clearinghouse take effect.
Yes,
Yeah?
pretty much, right? But I think the lack of understanding is that, and now my perspective is that doctors, just like any type of field, whether you're a lawyer, whether my brother's an accountant, whether you're an accountant, you do continue education. So my condition, lo and behold, isn't really new. It's been going on since humanity, but they never knew what those symptoms would match up to be. But it coincidentally, the pandemic, a lot of people are coming out of the pandemic with symptoms like mine, and they don't know why. They're not sure if it was the stress of the pandemic. I have a friend who her circumstance was that it was the vaccine that gave it to her. I have another friend that it was COVID that gave it to her. So we don't know. No one really knows what it is, but it could be a combination of stress and getting sick. But it seems to be the pandemic. A lot of people are coming out of it, and now a lot more research is being done because of people like me, like speaking out and saying, okay, I need help and none of you are helping me. And Now I'm medicated and I feel great. This is like, it's a whole new world.
You mentioned the pandemic, and during that time, like, everyone was just so for, if you're not vaccinated, then you're being problematic and you're making COVID worse. Do you feel like, well, first and foremost, if you feel comfortable with speaking of it, are you for or against the vaccine, or has your perspective changed now that we're in better times?
I think I'm still for the vaccine for myself, but I do believe that people should have the choice. Depending on the circumstance at the time, if there was a disease like Ebola and they had a vaccine for it and people wanted to take it, I think that they should be allowed to. And I think that people who don't want to take it should not have to take it. But what that comes with, because certain diseases, we don't know the ramifications of what could possibly be. So if someone told me, let's say I was uncomfortable with a certain type of vaccine, and someone said, well, you have to get it in order to go into the public, I personally would just stay home. I would just stay home and just not take it. I like, if someone said that I'm going to limit what you can do because it's for the care of others, I would do that, because we saw that in like places like Japan and China.
Yes.
They're very culturally unified. So when people were sick, they just stayed home. They wore the mask optionally to make sure that others didn't get it. And I think that's something that was missing here, is that I understand that people reserve the right to not take it. Totally fine. But for me personally, if I felt the same type of way and I didn't want to take something, I would personally stay indoors and just until I felt more comfortable about the situation, because I don't think that they could implement something like that.
I agree with his statement about choice. I think everybody should have a choice. I don't think a lot of people said you have to take it. I think it was the opposite. A lot of people were fighting.
Well, some people did really say, like, oh, in order, let's say, for children to go to school, you have to take it. And I was like, no, like, that it should be everyone's choice. Whether they say parents don't feel comfortable with their kids taking the vaccine, it's new. It's not like proven, like like tuberculosis or what's another one that
measles.
Those have been proven over time. This one literally came out at the time, was like a few months prior, so we don't know what's happening. So I think that's
but you guys skipping out majority of the South, because you've written about North, South Carolina, Georgia, Mississippi. So I would say in the majority, that's what I'm saying. Majority on that side of the world, let's be honest, on that side of the world was saying that we ain't wearing no mask. You know what I mean? We're not taking no vaccine. But I do 100% agree with what you're saying. I think everybody should be given a choice. I believe all of us here are from the D.C. area.
Speak for yourself.
Jesus Christ.
he's from Philadelphia.
Yourself, exactly.
Philadelphia.
New York in the house. Hey, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to hide the accent though. So.
At least all of us, I would say, from Philly, New York, D.C., like in that area. I mean, drivable with each other. And it's a lot more different from the South. Let's be honest.
And we were like New York, by the way, we were the epicenter. So it was very, mind you, it was getting crazy. And like I was working in IT. I wasn't like a frontline worker, but because I worked in IT and I worked for the court system at the time, I had to go into work every day. So it was like, I think for me, the stress of worrying about not really myself getting sick, but I lived with my parents at the time, getting them sick. It scared me so much. That was like one of the big stressors at that time. So I knew I thought I would be fine, but I was like, oh, I can't get my parents sick.
Okay. Well, we appreciate the fact that you care enough about your parents to say, I don't want to bring anything back to them.
Yeah.
We want to ask you, you talked about your journey and being sick and going to different specialists. What became of that?
So, and this kind of plays into, I guess, me discovering what I need to do in my purpose. Basically, in 2023, I had met a miss at work. I was sick the day prior, and I was like, oh, I may not come into work. I don't really feel too well. But I'm not going to go into details because at the time I was kind of like thinking that I was making it up in my head, and it's just you kind of being dramatic. So the next day I go into work, and I speaking with her, and I'm like, yeah, like I'm not feeling too well. I didn't sleep last night. Only slept like 2 hours, but I'm here because I want to make sure we get our work done. So she's like, oh, okay, cool. So around lunchtime, she's like, oh, you're going to go get lunch? We're all going to go out to eat. I was like, no, because I've been having some health issues with food. And I noticed if I eat out, I get sick. And she's like, do you want to talk about what it is? Because I have something very similar. And I was like, should I really disclose it? Because, you know, one, in the workplace, you don't want them to, I don't want to say weak, but that there's a reason why they should get rid of you. And I didn't know what it was. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I think I could trust her in saying what it was. So as I'm telling my story, she's like, you may have MCAS, which is Mast Cell Activation Syndrome. And I was like, what's that? And that opened up my whole entire world from that day. And I learned, I think that moment taught me that I have to be more expressive about how I feel. Because I think in general for myself, I'm not sure this is like a man thing, but like I don't talk about my problems. I think like my dad is very emotional, but I guess
sounds very familiar.
Yeah.
Seeing
Really?
seeing I guess men in society, I guess I co-opted like, oh, don't show too much weakness, right?
Sounds very familiar.
Don't show too much weakness. I don't know if you guys talked about this already, but don't show too much weakness. It's okay to be vulnerable sometimes, but not in a constant state.
Thank you.
So that day it taught me that, and it's been a slow journey it took another year after that to finally get a diagnosis, and it's been great since then. I got a diagnosis. She put me on a antihistamine regimen, and it's wild that antihistamines was just allergy medication. For me, it's like, I want to say a life changer, because most people's like an inconvenience. Me, it's me functioning for my day-to-day and being stable, essentially.
Well, Amir, wouldn't that be a life changer?
Yeah, I mean,
It's your perspective, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to go back to the beginning phases of the story and ask you, okay, you've gone to these specialists. Was there ever a point that you turned around and looked at yourself to say, well, what is it that I've done differently? What is it that I'm either focused on now that I'm lacking, or what have my, I guess, day-to-day functions been of lately? Like, what has been the reasoning that I could have contracted whatever's going on? Was it foods? Okay, stress? Was it medications? Was it some type of bug or virus? But was there anything, or a moment, was there any moment that you truly went in and was like, let me recant my steps as to what I did these last 2 weeks, months, or days to figure out what this could be? What's happening?
I think kind of still to this day, it's a work in progress, but I think it's stress, overall stress levels, and managing that, and things like looking at my phone. I've learned to detach from my phone. I don't need to look at it. Like on the plane right here, I was reading a book. You know, keeping things very simple. Brain stimulation. Not to say that these are things that gave me what I have, but I guess a new normal for me is that I have to realize that even before all this happened, I had a problem with, I don't want to say self-control in terms of like social media, but perspective, and not seeing things how I should be seeing things for myself versus how others see myself, or how others see me, I should say. So
We following you.
yeah,
We following you.
yeah.
And exactly in that instance, you've realized, to answer my question, you have gone back to think on those pieces, and you said, you know what? If that means me limiting my time on this matter, then I'll shift it. I'll do something that could be possibly more progressive and more, I guess, useful even with your time. Not saying that whatever else was happening may have not been as useful, but now you're like, I'm reading a book on a plane.
Yeah.
I'm not worrying about what they're saying on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm doing my own crossword puzzles. Like, I'm in my own lane.
And I still consume the same media. It's not that I'm changing what the information is, but it's time and how much I'm dedicating to that. I'm not letting it influence my day-to-day decisions, I think, like before.
Or consume you.
Or consume me, because I think, especially in the times that's happening around this date, there's a lot of things happening today.
A lot of things.
So it's very easy to get caught up in, I guess, the antics of it. And we have to stay grounded.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Grounded.
Staying grounded.
Staying grounded. Yes.
You're a model as well, if I'm correct.
With Keith. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
With Keith. But I'm not Keith is like a supermodel. I'm like
Wait.
I'm under
Let's
the radar.
pause.
I'm hiding.
No,
You're not. Listen, I see.
AP,
I
wait,
see
let
it.
me get him right fast.
Get him.
What we don't do is hide. First off,
No, I'm just
he's
playing
like
with you. No, I
he's
know.
like 6'7".
You know Keith gonna get
Talking
you.
about some. Yo, he like 6'7", And now Philly is coming out. Yes.
Yeah.
Yo.
Come on, Philly. Come on.
Excuse me. Let's back up. Amir, you are 6'7".
Yes. Or I'm 6'3.5", very close to 6'4". So I tell agencies that I'm like 6'3", but I'm really probably 6'4".
Okay.
But yeah.
You're 6'4", attempting to hide.
Not anymore. That's the
Exactly.
not
Okay.
anymore.
All right. I'm about to
talked
say,
about
no.
this, yes.
I may be that supermodel, and you are your best. I am my best.
yes.
And I appreciate that about you.
Yeah.
As you were.
Yeah. Yep.
You keep going.
Yes.
Okay.
So just the tidbit off of that. With modeling, I started when I was 26, so a little bit late. But I think at the time
It's never too late.
Well, for men, with the industry is getting better. That they're recognizing older talent, I guess, and it's not as creepy as what it used to be, where they're like looking at children only or under 25. So it's slowly getting away from that. A lot of the models that I met around when I was 26 really inspired me, because a lot of them, when at that time, were 40, 52. I know someone named David. He started modeling when he was like 51, I think he said. So I learned that, okay, especially for men, but also some females too, it's never too late, right?
Correct.
And off that perspective about never being too late, I think it's never too late to change yourself for the better. I think a lot of people after a certain age give up on rebuilding themselves and staying themselves, essentially, right? I think that's something that I've learned, especially since I've been taking my medication. It's like night and day, that now I'm back to myself. I can do what I used to do. I'm not getting anxiety from work. I'm not getting anxiety from doing day-to-day tasks. I'm not throwing my back out. I don't know if you guys saw last week I went to the ER because my shoulder, I guess because of the MCAS and inflammation, I didn't have a flare-up, but it locked up and it was like spreading down my arm. So I was like, at first I was like, oh, it's probably because you play soccer, but I didn't fall, I didn't bump into anyone, so it's kind of weird. So another mystery illness, but I think I'm at a good spot right now, because when I was talking to you, I was like, yeah, like I may not come, but I'm really trying to come, because it'll be a waste of opportunity.
I was like, get here.
Yeah, just because
Any
it's
means necessary.
you're in pain or whatever. It's like now that I felt like I'm mentally in a safe space, versus before I would have had to tap out because I was just overwhelmed with all my symptoms.
Well, Amir, this is first and foremost a safe space. However, we want to make sure that you take care of you first. Like we appreciate.
Oh yeah,
the kind
I feel fine now.
Okay,
I feel fine now. I feel great now. I can move my arm up and down. Like last week, I could not even, like, if I was standing up, I could not move it more than like probably 5 inches away from my hip, and that. I think it wouldn't have been. Normally, you would stay home for that. That's not something to go to the ER for. Mm-hmm. But what was getting me was that it started at the tip of my shoulder, and then it slowly was spreading down my back. I was like, something's not right. Something's not right. So I went to the ER, and they're like, we don't know what it is, but we're going to give you an anti-inflammatory and a steroid to reduce the swelling. And then it was just gradually over the past like week and a half, it's been getting better. So I can at least lift my arm. Still a little pain, but not too bad.
But you're doing better today.
Yeah, yep, way better.
Now, AP, as executive producer, I would like for you to know this. I am not in the business of making or telling the guests, yo, get here at any means necessary. Life or death. No. You better swim to California and
I did not.
This thing cracking. It ain't even like that, Amir. Hold on.
Wait a minute. We didn't mean it that way.
Because you'll have this man, AP Superb, I'm telling you, you'll have this man attempt to read me my rights on national television. And I'm like, wait, it wasn't me. It wasn't like that. It was me. Haha. But it wasn't like that. Wait a minute.
I'm not going to read you today. I'm not going to give you your rights today.
Okay, not today?
Not today.
Not in this segment? Okay.
To be announced.
Will do.
Okay.
So, Amir, when you mentioned earlier about stress as well, and we're going to jump back and forth if that's all right with you.
That's fine. Yep.
So with stress, that also proves that stress has such an impact on your body. Whether we talked about earlier, you have great stress, good stress, which is objective, okay, and then you have bad stress, which is still subjective, but your body knows the difference.
Yes.
So could it be that when you, correct me if I'm wrong, are focusing heavily on the factors as to the what ifs, they could put themselves in a category that are bad stressors? And they may cause us, mind, body, and spirit, to do or feel things that either are harmful or something that's on the bit downward slope, like I don't really feel like it today, like my mood has changed because our stress has such an impact on our bodies. So could it have been something that the pandemic we'll use?
Yes.
It's very general. Had a massive stress that was all negative. So many questions, so many lies. I'm not even going to keep going. So much of that stress was there. Could that have also been a factor? Like they're doing the
Yep, for
research,
sure,
the
for
education,
sure.
all
Definitely.
that. And with different illnesses that are out there, it's like, okay, well, possibly the things aren't there because it hasn't been enough of it. They have some information about it, but they don't have enough of the whatever they're studying to say, all right, we've come to a determination that this illness is caused by this, and this is the cure, or this is the antidote, but we also need to be paid, so we're going to make sure that we give you little by little. That's what it sounds like to me. Stress. And other factors, mainly stress.
You mentioned stress. We also can't ignore that stress contributes to your mental health,
Yes.
your mental well-being,
Yes.
your inner peace. How did that shape you?
Okay, so I just want to jump back to good stress versus bad stress. I think.
Yeah, no, we tag teamed you.
Yeah. No. That's perfect. 'Cause I actually, I'm going to bring both together with it's good stress and bad stress, and then inner peace. I'm bringing it all together. I don't think up until that was in 2021 is when I first got sick, and in 2024 Thanksgiving, I remember going to my parents, having a great time, and I was like, why when I'm home am I getting so riled up? I think it was like depression. Basically, I miss my parents, I miss my family. It's really my niece and nephew, the two cute, right? And I was like, okay, like, you feel a little emotional. Like, why you feel like you like want to cry and you're visiting your family? That's not a normal emotion I've ever had. And then on Christmas, I think this was the first time that I realized that I need to get help. Every other time was more like, I could get help, but I think I can make myself work through it. But on Christmas, I remember I was cooking because my mom wanted me to kind of like take over the kitchen because, she's getting older. It was me and my little brother cooking. Something broke in the bathroom. I remember my dad was yelling at me. Normal things in the daily household, right? But nothing that I couldn't handle normally, right? And I remember going to everyone. I was like, everyone kind of leave the kitchen because you guys can open presents. And I remember I was leaving the kitchen. I think I almost burnt something, took it out. Walking over to the Christmas tree.
So don't have you on our cooking episode.
No, I can cook. Okay. No, I can cook. You're gonna have me back for that. I can cook. No,
okay,
you can cook.
Got a little my mac and cheese from my mother and my aunt.
Okay,
family combination.
Okay, I heard burnt.
No, it wasn't. Okay. It wasn't the mac and cheese.
So what?
It wasn't the mac and cheese.
Your
It
mac
wasn't the mac and cheese.
Because we can't eat. You don't eat everybody mac and cheese.
Why don't you?
Why don't
Let's
you?
talk about that.
No. Not. I'm just saying you can't eat that. When you go to the cookout.
You eat the mac and cheese. That's the test of the family.
Well, wait, no. I'm just saying if you just going to the cookout and you like, okay, I ain't really familiar with.
So
this
you the type
person's
to go to
cooking.
cookout asking questions as to who made what?
I don't really ask questions. I'll sample. That's fair. I'll sample.
So why does it matter who made the mac and cheese? Now we're getting off topic because hold on, wait a minute, keep going.
I'm actually really interested too because I thought that this is like how like certain cultures you test people's honor with I feel like Polynesians like their hair length. I thought for like African Americans, I thought it was like the mac and cheese, the cooking. You kind of go off the cooking, so you need to make sure that like certain dishes.
That's the judgment of character.
Not character, but like. I mean, like
because you said burnt, and I'm like, oh,
no, it was.
No,
it was
y'all
me.
said burnt,
It
so
was,
that-
I burnt
listen.
it. It wasn't.
and that's
So
why
it
we're
was-
saying you're
I
not
burnt
probably
it.
going
And it was,
to.
It still tastes good though. It was just overdone.
Oh, so it was a good burn. It was like a hot dog. So you grilled it.
It was overdone. It wasn't burnt. It was just
Okay, because you said
overdone.
burnt, and the people had questions about what was burnt.
Then come to my channel and you will see me cook, and I can cook.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
All right.
I've learned over the past 2 years. So
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But yes, back to I guess that Christmas time, right? I was walking towards the living room, and I was like, okay, you can't handle this. I burst into tears. Did not know why. Went up to my room, and I was like, okay, like, you getting yourself together? Came back downstairs, burst into tears again. And I was like, what is going on? Like, I'm so happy to be here. And normally what really got me is that, one, my niece and nephew were there, but my older brother, he usually was never at Christmas functions because he's a police officer. So it was just really nice to have everyone in our family together. And I was like, oh, this is so great, da da da. And I'm like bawling in tears. And my brother's like, are you all right? I was like, no, I'm not all right. There's something going on in my body. And I was having a flare up. Basically, what I learned is that, and this is why I realized I really need to get help, is that sometimes good stress is bad stress. So we can overconsume. You can overconsume good stress.
Do tell. I didn't know that.
So I what I learned, I guess after that, researching, I guess what stress is. You have distress, which is bad, distressful situations, and then you have stress, and that's good stress. So you have to find a balance between the two. And I think a lot of the times, especially in today's society, social media, relationships, sometimes we can overconsume things. It feels good at the time, but you're really putting a number on your body.
That's that dopamine.
Yeah, the dopamine rush. And you're putting a really big hit on your mental also. So I think everything needs to come in moderation. Life is not perfect. I think the bad stress should come from unexpected events. Good stress should come from things that you love to do. And I think that we should focus on trying to do those things too, but not to overdo it, because I could play video games all day and like have a ball, but then the next day I could be sad because I don't have any friends, right? So
if you log in online, you might.
But that's not a real relationship. I don't think online.
Social.
That's not another person on the other side.
There's a person on the other side, but we are not connecting. We're not. I think there is something to, and this is I guess it's weird coming from a data scientist or someone that works in tech. I believe that we need to have in person, just like we're here right now. We're not doing this over. Actually, someone asked me when I told them that I was coming here that you can't just do that over the computer, and I was like, no.
You want the interpersonal.
It's a personal.
It was
relationship.
absolutely
No.
It's a personal relationship that you're forming in person. And I'm not saying that online relationships are bad. They are good. They're valid, but
the connection
can be built stronger both ways. Let's say I have a more in-person relationship. When we were kids, you play with your neighborhood friends and stuff. Now, most of our relationship is online because they're far away. That's healthy, but not, I play video games. I meet you online. We talk online. I never meet you in person. I don't know who you are. You could be a local down the block.
Something that you said was a beautiful, complete sentence. No. Someone, can't you just do that on? No.
Oh.
Because no truly is a complete sentence. And I believe some people have to over-explain their reasoning, their no, their why. If I tell you what I'm going to do, if I say I'm going to go model, I'm going to go fight the next opponent, take them down because they're trash, whatever it is, protect my mental sanity. If I tell you no, can't you just go there? No, no, no. No is a complete sentence, and a lot of folks don't realize that. And I just wanted to point that out with you as well.
It's very true. I've also learned that in saying no, some people, depending on who they are and their relationship to you, do deserve somewhat of an explanation. You got to let them down easy.
You can.
Some people.
Yeah.
Some people. Okay.
Some people. It's a hard no because they won't ever get it. But I feel with a lot of my friendships, I have learned to curtail myself and say, okay, no, but this is the reason why. Because I felt like before I would say, oh, you don't deserve. I don't need to explain myself to you. And then I felt like over time it formed distrust because it's like I can't trust you with the inner workings of me, right? And I feel like that is on my end. That's not anything that they did wrong, and it just propels the friendship into going somewhere we don't want it to go. So,
as it pertains to mental health, Amir, even if you tell someone no and you provide them an explanation, you do have folks, to generalize it, who may dig deeper. They probe and they want more. Sometimes enough is never truly enough, and I'll use never just because. But sometimes never is truly enough is never truly enough. It's just like, hey, why? No, because of this. Well, why that? Well, because of this. Now we're over-explaining. Is there a cutoff point to your no with an explanation? When do you stop it to also protect your mental health and sanity?
You stop it where you feel fit. You don't need to go into detail. Just like you said no, I can say no and I don't have to explain it to you and give them that's the reason. It's my personal life. It's none of your business. And I feel like that's what it is. That's all.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I feel like it's not. If people are really prying into information like that, I guess question of friendship. I don't know. I think at that
we should have had you on for the friendship episode.
point,
No, because you spitting some real facts. I can learn a thing or two from that. Saying no and who to give explanation to,
and who not to,
and who's a hard no.
Yeah.
Period.
Because some people are like what Keith just said. Some people want to violate your space,
Make
and
you
that's a
feel
hard-
guilty.
and make you feel guilty. That's a hard no, because even when you give them the explanation, they're still going to make you feel guilty no matter what. So does it matter? No. Versus people who actually care about you. That's what I've had to learn, how to trust people enough to say, okay, you are my friend and I should be able to trust you with this information. You have never violated that trust. So I should be explaining to you instead of being defensive because of those few people. And saying, okay,
Preach.
these few people messed me over. So now all my friends are going to get blocked, and just say no. And that's something I'm still working on right now, is just learning how to trust people a little bit more. And yep.
I'm with you on that. We share those sentiments. Inner peace. You appear to be in a place now where you are at peace with yourself.
Working on it.
Working on it.
But
Aren't we all a work in progress every day?
yeah,
That's
I
getting
think,
to us.
weirdly enough, I think inner peace is a lifelong process. It's not something that is accomplished over a day. It's just as I don't know if that's nirvana. We're slowly working towards that inner peace so that by the time we pass away, we say, this is my life, and it's complete. It's fulfilled. Right?
Fulfilled.
Yes.
Fulfillment.
Because it's not what I've learned along my journey and my career as entertainer. The end result, I'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time I say, hey, when they ask me when I was in high school, where do you see yourself in 10 years? On a main stage, performing. Laughed, did whatever they wanted to do. Sure, cool. But because I left it so broad or vague, I was like, no, my mind is so wide open and I'm so very capable of doing many things. I want to narrow it down to a few, and I want to do those with excellence. So if my journey is this, I'm learning now. I'm going to enjoy all those steps in between because I've done so much of the hard work. I've done so much of the protecting of my spirit, of my mind, my actions, even my moves. I've done so much protection over so many things, like you said, to allow distress into that situation, that equation. Those were learning processes.
Yep.
It shook me, it rattled me,
Yep.
but I don't break,
Yep.
and neither should we.
Yep.
He's a professional fighter, so he don't fold, don't break, don't nothing. So it's just like the way you're saying it. It's not the final end all be all when you're still along the journey.
Yep.
That's the destination. That's the when you put your GPS in, the GPS has one goal: is to get you from this to this. Anything in between that, you make the wrong turn. She's like, turn around, till they're yelling at you. But that's the thing, you know. But it's like, what happens in between that destination is what also truly matters. You're gonna get there, but it's like, yo, what happened in between that? Take that in. The same thing.
A lot of people, and
Yeah.
the thing is, with a lot of people, you don't know what someone else has been through for them to get to that point. Going off what you just said. So it's interesting that I think we need to give people more grace when we have conversations or when we see people in the street that's having a bad day. I've had bad days. I remember, when you're a kid, I'm going to have more. I'm going to have more bad days. No, everyone does.
But it's life,
Life
though.
is life, right?
Yeah,
Correct. So I think I don't think I think that's just something that we all have to learn. It's not.
May I say this? A day that we have is neither good nor bad because that's still subjective, right? If I look at you and your day may be doing one thing to me, I'm like, oh, that person's an ass. They whatever. But to you, you're like, yo, I just lost everything. I don't have no words for you. I don't want to talk to you. Or this is the best day of my life. And you're talking to somebody and they're like, yo, I literally don't care. I don't want to hear it.
It's fine.
It's fine, right?
Yeah,
It's fine. But it's like,
yeah.
it's a part of their journey. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And from those different perspectival points, it's like we provide grace. Remember that. Remember to always provide grace. And I believe some folks forget that in the midst of them doing what they're doing, and you're like, this person's whatever, nasty or rude or excited, and I don't want anything to do with it. Still provide them grace. The person that cut you off in traffic, You aren't in their situation. You don't know what was going on. You may say what you have to say about them.
I'm still road raging. If they cut me
And
off.
you're not the only person that has come on about
Follow the rules. Follow the road
So if
rules.
I
or
see
the
you
rules
in
of the road.
traffic and you
Yo.
cut me off.
I'm a New Yorker. Don't get me started. Because
you
let me
see?
in DC.
See?
DC drivers.
Oh, here we go.
I'll say it right now.
Look into your camera.
Y'all don't know how to drive. Learn how to drive. I'm from New York. I probably go above the speed limit, but I still follow the rules in terms of using my turn signal, being mindful of cutting people off, and getting off at the proper exits when I should. That's all.
Amir.
Because what
DC only.
But wait,
what's happening?
DMV.
What's
New York
happening
is off
is
the
now
chain.
you're wait hold on AP may I
Yes, you may.
I?
Yes, you
because now what's happening, Amir, hold on, you are attempting to disturb the inner peace of the DC driver and
It's for their safety. I'll put it
No, Amir, you know y'all
It's
bad.
for their safety.
AP, wait, I'm not finished.
Okay,
let me go. Then I'll let you get him, all right? And then you get him. Because now
Safety.
this is rare where you got all three of us riled up. Hold on. You fix my vest.
You're from Philadelphia. What are you talking about?
I drive through DC, but it's the principle of it. All right. Because I'm from Philly, yes. The inner peace just now that you disturbed for those DC drivers who may not be equipped to handle the road as you do. Why'd you do that to them people? But don't answer because I got another piece for you.
Okay.
What made you take the entire palm tree here in California, put it in your hands, and wield it as a sword to do that to DC? And that's all I got. Don't even answer. You don't even have to answer because that was
I could
wild.
answer if you want me to.
No.
Okay.
I want us to finish. AP, it's your turn.
Okay, all right.
I bet
Because that
you-
was so much shade.
you threw the palm tree at us. We like,
The whole tree.
that's a little bit of grace, you know, because I've been to New York.
I.
And y'all
Oh,
are
get 'em.
terrible when it comes to
Oh,
Terrible.
terrible. I mean, bro, y'all honk the horn.
We won't get into it. But
We
we'll
won't
talk
do-
about
okay.
it. We'll talk about it after.
Different day.
We'll talk- yeah, another bit. All right.
Day, different time.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
too much shade for one.
To be
one
announced.
Oh yeah.
To be announced.
Listen, I've been chilling back here this whole time.
Oh, he's away.
I don't say much words at all. Frankly, there's a reason why your subway system, I mean, it's pretty shitty. The only thing it's known for is the 24 hours runtime. There's a reason why you guys use that more than you drive. All right. Secondly, I get it. You came to a city that's well educated. It's called Chocolate City for a reason. So it probably shook you a little bit. All right. It's been gentrified, but even the people that come in and gentrify it eventually have more class. So it's understandable. You know, it takes you time to see what greatness is. Eventually, you will become a better driver because DC people is one of the most laid back people in the world. After all, we did legalize weed while it took you guys how long? Secondly, your mayors, every single time they go to jail. Aren't you guys criminals?
It's okay.
So I'm not trying to bring you down.
Woke
I'm
him up.
just saying.
Why you did that?
I'm just saying.
Why'd you do that, Amir?
You wanna chat
Weirdly enough,
about-
we agree about some of those topics, so we're not far off.
You know what I mean?
But there's always a path to improvement. When
There
it comes to New
is.
York, I think that's the mindset that we have. We don't take some of those things personally because we know that they are bad.
And I'm not
And we can
trying
work
to
on
bring
it.
you
Well, then
down.
why
At the
y'all
end
curse
of
us
the
out on the streets?
Right.
And
No,
At the end
like
of
yo,
the day,
I said
brother,
with
so-
coming from
Huh?
New York, driving on the LIE, which is just congestion, right? Taking 2 hours to get to wherever I need to go into the city from Long Island.
That's true.
DC is amazing in that regard. It's very accessible.
Thank
I can drive to where I need to go, or take like the public transit. I think public transit here is better, or we're not there, but
We get
in the DMV, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, if I am walking across the street and someone blatantly runs a red light, I have not seen that in more than a week ever in my life, more than I've seen in the DMV. It's just people running lights. It's like actually like hazardous conditions, in my opinion. I feel like New York is just more like convenience problems, like transportation. But the DMV, I've almost gotten hit by a car like 3 times.
That's a goddamn lie.
Well,
You guys have a man that try to stab people every time you guys walk.
because
out.
I'm a New Yorker and I walk. So in my area, I walk a lot of places. I literally have almost been hit 3 times in the past. Almost, not every year. That first year, it was 2 times in one.
Wait,
and
you know what
the
this
year
sounds
after.
like?
Yeah.
like Southeast.
This sounds like I'm not familiar with Southeast.
Southeast.
I've been to
This
Southeast?
sounds like
Well, I'm not getting into all that. That's
Well, okay.
this.
I don't know about that.
No,
I
I don't
know about that.
This sounds like Amir, a you problem and situation.
It is.
You not about to get hit by the car, but the people in traffic that are driving in DC. What are you doing that they want to run into you?
I look good.
And there you have it.
wow.
Folks. There you have it.
Wow. Listen, you know what? He is a brother at the end of the day.
What did he say? I'm a 6'4" black man walking down the street.
All right.
Turn into a rap. All right.
okay.
6'4" black man walking down
Law
the
of
street.
attraction. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Look.
All right.
Listen,
All right.
we could. Foday, do you have anything else?
Yeah. First off, thank you for coming to our
Yeah, I
city.
appreciate you having me. Yep.
We honestly, DC is a pretty chill area.
Yeah, it is.
We love.
I love it.
I hope every brother or sister come through. It's a massive area. It's a very historic area.
It's growing. It's growing for
Yeah,
Every day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all of that, like all that jazz, like forget. Like
Yeah.
I'm happy.
I'm
in
just being
general.
catty, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
just
happy
being
in general
Being
that you
messy
came
up
through.
there? Okay. Yeah.
So in that, like I'm very happy. Your story was very. You know what I mean? It was intriguing. I think a lot of people will like what you had to say. I agree with a lot of the points, so I didn't really have to say much. These two gentlemen could easily carry the conversation. Your energy seems really cool, really sweet. And honestly, it's really, really, again, I said bam chill, but it's honestly really, really good to have you here. To have a brother like that, that's like really outspoken, who shows his emotion, who's strong, has a good job. And as you were saying, pause for a second, that looks very handsome and can walk through the runway.
6'7".
6'7".
6'4".
So yeah, it's an honor. I just want to say it's an absolute honor to have you on.
Thank you. I
the
appreciate
yeah.
Thank you for being with us again.
Thank you, Amir. As we exit the interview segment, would like for you to share your perspective or advice that you would give to others who are seeking inner peace.
Don't stop. You are entitled to be happy. You're entitled to live the life that you want to make. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to fail a lot. I think that's something that I've just learned since I was a kid. People have always told me no. And I've always told them I'm going to find a way to get what I want. And I noticed that that's where I am now, is that when someone told me no, it's made me work harder to get what I thought I deserved. And sometimes I didn't get it, but obviously 90% of the time, it just took hard work.
Give me a power for that. I like that. All right.
Also, one last
yeah,
thing, sorry to
go
cut
ahead,
you off.
go ahead.
If you have a medical condition that you don't know what's going on, I really suggest going to GARD, GARD. Google it. It's Genetic and Rare Disease Center, and they work with people who are having trouble pinpointing their condition or their illness. So if you do have something that you don't know what's going on, I really would recommend to go to the GARD website and giving them a call. They helped me find a doctor that could treat me. So, and just like everything, no doctor knows it all. You just need to go to another one that has more information, and that's it.
Thank you so much, Amir. We would love to have you back in the future.
Yeah, cool
Thank you.
vibes. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah, cool vibes.